Oh, and this is real nice. Look, a goose is out walking its duck and pig. Oh no, boss attack! Who would have ever seen this coming? Protect me, duck piggins!
Maximum gaming power.
What the heck?
Howdy folks, and welcome to WIN10 Gaming.
And this is our review of... Oh look, it's the mighty Goose! I'd like to thank the publisher for providing me a review copy of the game prior to its release. It was developed by...
Blastmode!
And for a game this mighty, they had to work in cooperation with... And we really enjoyed working with the publisher, PLAYISM. The game released June 5th on the Windows Store and Xbox platform for a price of $19.99. Sometimes in life, things just catch your eye. By chance or more often, we see a glimpse of interest in it. So we stop and take a closer look. This is how the mighty Goose found its way onto the farm. I was blasting through my daily Twitter feed and saw an image from an indie studio that was working on a game that looked bright, cartoony, and highly polished. I stopped to see what revision of Mega Man X, or whatever variant this game was, and was thrilled to read that this was no Mega Man remake. Instead, it was a new look at the game genre of side-scrolling platform blasters that puts you, the hero, as a goose. What?
That's crazy.
Well, okay. Maybe not too crazy. For us here on the farm, you could just replace the goose with a pickle and a suit of armor, and hey, we'd still play the game. Maybe not that game. The screenshots portray the game that resemble a Metal Slug-style run-and-gun shooter with a bullet hell level of enemies. Bullets and explosions on the screen everywhere you look. Look at all this chaos! I don't know where anything's at! I was immediately hooked. And before we go any further, I recommend hitting the options and toggle on the auto fire option. Whoa! Now why in the Sam hell would anyone want to play with that turned off? I guess they want to try and hit one bird with two stones. I'm glad to report that the game doesn't disappoint. Although reminiscent of gameplay found within the Metal Slug series, the Mighty Goose adds a level of humor and Saturday morning bubblegum-style pop flavor to the table. Many times I found myself making my own sound effects as I engaged in cleaning up the constant string of enemies the game throws at you, which is always a good sign if you're enjoying the gameplay. There's just something timeless and satisfying about filling the screen with an array of powerful gunshots and bombs that make you feel like a kid again. Now, I do have to say the game was a bit more pixelated than I had anticipated, but after playing through several screens filled with flying enemies, bullets, tanks, missiles, and explosions everywhere, with no noticeable frame drop, the pixelated graphics became an afterthought. Although there was a vague storyline that played out at the beginning of each level, the anticipation of getting back into the fray was way too overwhelming for me to keep my fingers off the skip movie buttons. The Mighty Goose does a great job of mixing a moderate story with gameplay that pushes the player to keep reaching for that next level. The game is not one with your trigger finger, but instead a mix of jump, duck, dodge, and parry moves, which grants you a split second of immunity. Without this dance, I'm pretty sure the game would be uncompletable, as many of the boss level ambushes fill the screen with enemies and bullets, which leaves little to no safe areas for you to stand and fight. Over the top, fanatic, and twitchy? Sure. Is it fun to play? You betcha! Is it easy to pick up and play? Well, yeah! And is it easy completion that can be ran through in one evening? Well, no. Not really. Not really at all. The Mighty Goose difficulty ramps up after a few levels, and you'll find yourself looking to balance your choice of upgrade pass with your specific gameplay style, which actually should vary from level to level as you adjust your equipment to match the challenges you're given. It's a solid game that kept my attention for several days while spinning up this review, and the developers patched out many of the early build arguments that we had against the Goose. And as far as the bean count goes, we're giving the Mighty Goose 4 beans out of 5. Well, that wraps up this review. We do them every week, covering new and unreleased console indie titles that are either easy achievement and trophy completions or have really blown our socks off. I'll give you a break this week from the like and subscribe jargon that you get slammed with on every video, and instead we'll just ask that you tell a friend. That is, unless you're trying to keep me to yourself, you little devil. Be sure to visit again next week. We'll continue reviewing other Gamazumi titles. Secure, fuck you, bud. Now stay safe out there. We'll see you next time on the Fog.
Ah!